Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have opted to join us online. Please ensure that your electronic devices are muted. My name is Karen Tralip-Kumar. My pronouns are she and her, and I am this morning's service leader. I want to thank today's service team that includes our music ministers, Rachel Derry, Cindy Carey, and our wonderful choir. It's so exciting when we have our choir with us. And look how many there are. Wow, this is fantastic. How lovely. Our tech team, Timothy Hawkins, Josh McIntyre, and Carlos Cabezas. Ushers, Doreen Knoll and Karen Moore. And worship assistants Paula Borner and Ian Johnston. And I'm thrilled to welcome Reverend Victoria Ingram back to the pulpit for our sermon today. And I have an announcement. The Climate Action Team invites you to join us in the Fellowship Hall at 12 noon today for a climate chat. Pick up a beverage from the foyer on your way, and they are going to be reviewing climate actions taken to date, what may lie ahead, plus seeking your feedback and input. Just an hour long and refreshments provided. Sounds like a wonderful thing. Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into our time of worship and community. Please join me in my chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love. And now I'm going to ask our choir to do our prelude. How wonderful. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you are one of us, and you are welcome in this house of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. We are not the first people on this land, nor will we be the last. We acknowledge our connection to the web of all existence, honoring the past and preparing for the future. The stewardship of the original people who lived here Preserve this place for our generation. We seek to be respectful stewards of this place for those who follow. And now I'm going to ask Reverend Victoria to read our call to worship.
A Person Will Worship Something is written by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it was part of the inspiration for today's sermon. A person will worship something, have no doubt about that. We may think our tribute is paid in secret in the dark recesses of our hearts, but it will out. That which dominates our imaginations and our thoughts will determine our lives and our character. Therefore, it behooves us to be careful what we worship, for what we are worshiping, we are becoming. And if you will all stand together, Rachel's going to help lead us in hymn number 395. We're going to sing and rejoice this morning.
We are. Woo-hoo! And we are going to sing around again. Yay! I know, you're all excited. Okay, so we are going to, I don't know whether I should split Bill and Monica or not. I think it's going to be your decision whether or not you're singing together or apart. So we are going to split, we're going to sing it all together once. And then Marianne and Joanne, do you want to come out and face everybody because you're leading one, right? So you're going to start. Okay, so everybody from Monica over are following Joanne and Marianne. Part 2 are following Beverly and Joanne. A multitude of Joannes. And our third part will be our lovely choristers, the choir. Are we all straight? Whatever happens, happens. It'll be great. Straight as in clear-minded.
I'd like to invite Jenny Copes up to give our story for all ages.
Good morning, everybody. So before I read the story, I have two things to share. One is that Music and Munchies, usually on the first Sunday of the month, it will be on April 12, so the second Sunday of the month, because next weekend is Easter. Now, even though we've moved Music and Munchies, we're still coming on Friday night for Third Space Cafe. This Friday will be our craft night, and I'm wondering, Catherine Schuler, are you here? Yeah, you're there. Are you free this Friday? Yeah, Sheila, are you free this Friday too, Sheila? Yeah? Okay, great. So you guys can run an embroidery workshop for us this Friday? Perfect. Thank you. So if you want to come to get, they have kits that they can make. If you want to make sure that you can get a kit, please sign up. We'll send an RSVP link in the all church email. So please sign up in that email if you want to make sure that you get an embroidery kit. And please come. There will be extra supplies there as well. Excuse me. Please come and hang out with us. Even if you don't care about embroidery, you're welcome to come and hang out as well. I'm looking forward to it. Now, our story today is called The Emperor's New Clothes, and this version is done by Barbara Gadon. Gadon? I'm not sure how to say her last name, but once there was an emperor who needed a new set of clothes to wear in the grand parade. He called 2 of his finest cloth weavers to order one. They looked at each other and decided that this would be a chance to make a little extra money from the deal. "Oh, Emperor," one said, "we have invented the most marvelous cloth. It'll cost you a little extra, but it is magic. It is so magic that people can't see it if they are stupid or lazy or not good at their job. So not only will your majesty look your absolute royal best, you will be able to tell immediately who you should fire from their jobs." The emperor thought, I've been wondering who these people are, but I'll take it, he said. So off the weavers went to work. Oh, but they were slow. The emperor sent in one of his wisest advisors to check on their progress. When he got there, he saw the 2 of them doing nothing at all. It looked like they were waving their hands back and forth in front of the loom, but there was no cloth coming out. Still, he didn't want the emperor to think he was dumb or lazy, so he rushed back and said, "It's awesome, you'll love it." Finally, the day arrived and the weavers brought their suit into the emperor to try on. "I have it here in this bag. What do you think? It's pretty great, isn't it?" Well, the emperor thought the same thing, but he felt a wave of panic. "Oh no, am I the dumb one? Am I the lazy one?" He couldn't say that, so he asked them to help him put it on. He felt embarrassed when looking in the mirror because it looked like he was wearing nothing. But the weavers pulled here and creased there, and then they oohed and ahed and admired their handiwork and how wonderful it looked on him. And then it was time for the grand parade and the emperor's big entrance. Everyone cheered loudly for the acrobats, the dancers, and the horses. And then came out the emperor, completely naked, except of course for his royal boxer shorts. Everyone got really quiet. And then someone said, "Huzzah for the emperor!" And another person said, "He looks like a new man." But one young person said, "He's not wearing any clothes." And everyone went quiet. And the parade stopped. Now, there is an ending to the story, but we can always make up our own ending to the story, so you can imagine what might have happened after that. But the point of the story is that you just don't know what's going to happen when you tell the truth. And that's why it's a brave thing to do. It's always important to speak up. Thank you.
In our free faith tradition, we are the resources and support of this congregation. Your gifts and donations sustain the many ministries of this church, a community we've chosen to join and support. We'll now receive our offering while we listen to our music ministers. Your gifts and support of our ministries to one another and to the community are appreciated. Thank you. In these moments of contemplation, I invite you to relax, close your eyes if you like, and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there will be a few moments of silence followed by music. During the music, you're welcome to come up and light a candle of joy or concern. This morning's reading is A Meditation on Letting Go by Carol Altman Morton. Many of us carry a burden of worry, anxiety over the state of the world, worries about money, about our environment, our families, about peace and justice. May we trust that nothing will get worse for us putting that burden down for a moment. May we let go of what weighs us down. May we find that we can set down worry for longer and longer periods of time. In our experience of letting go, may we be open to the possibility that we need not pick our worries back up. May we find the passion and strength to work for change where we have the power to do so, and to let go where we do not. If not forever, let's put down any worries or anxieties for our time of quiet together. May we be in quiet together now. Amen. Part of building a nurturing community includes sharing our joys and sorrows. Today we have one sorrow. Cheryl Hicks Tyson says, "This morning I placed a red rose at the base of the first of our memorial trees. This tree is in remembrance of my daughter, Kristen Jewell, and today is the anniversary of her birth and this day in 1979. Some of you here still remember her, as she grew up in this church, was married in this church, and where we said our last goodbyes to her here in 2009. Always loved and never forgotten." We're thinking of you, Cheryl. We know that there are both joys and sorrows among us. We celebrate those joys and rejoice in the happiness that flows through our community, and we hold the sorrows in this space today with the reminder that we are never alone. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Victoria to come up.
I just got up here and went, oh my goodness, they expect me to say something.
It's nice to see you this morning. As I was reflecting on today's sermon and worshiping something, I just became more and more drawn to our current sort of cultural and political environment, and thinking about how all of us are in a place of juggling our finances, trying to discern our future, and sometimes feeling hopeful and sometimes feeling confused. So I realized that I really wanted to focus on our beliefs and experiences with money, since that seems to be kind of a big deal right now. It's not that all of our other beliefs aren't important, it just seems that that monetary wellness keeps coming up. So, this little charmer, is this the root of all evil? Actually, that isn't what the Bible verse says. That's where that saying comes from. It's not that what the Bible verse says. The Bible verse actually tells us that it is the love of this that is the root of all evil. And I don't think it's hard to imagine that that might be true. If you look around, you probably can think of examples, both locally and globally, where greed and coveting and miserliness and overspending and other indiscretions led to the downfall of individuals or companies or nations. So even though I know that this in itself is not evil, and money is not evil, but it always seems like it's right there aiding and abetting it. And yet, when I really thought about it, there are even more examples of money doing good things when you pay it forward for the person, behind you at Tim's, which I learned as a cultural behavior when I came to Canada. GoFundMe efforts come to mind. When people donate money to people they don't even know because they are concerned or they care or they have open hearts, whatever the reason is. Millions of dollars have been donated for supporting people in trouble spots around the world, in Cuba and Gaza and Sudan and Ukraine. There's many. We could be here all day and name trouble spots, I guess. And then there are generous people who sponsor hospitals and other public spaces. And so we know that money can do good as well. So objectively, this piece of plastic is really no more or no less valuable than this piece of plastic, which came off my iced chai latte this morning, by the way. I still go to Tim's. Except for the value that we have agreed that this has with this particular kind of plastic. It's really just a neutral object. We have agreed to accept it as an instrument of exchange at an agreed on value. And sometimes we save some of this and we may give it away and share it with others. We may donate it to causes. We can make choices about how we use our discretionary money for entertainment or adornments or travel or whatever. So in these ways, this money represents a movement of energy in our day-to-day interactions. After all, we've expended our energies in one way or another to earn money or get money, and then we turn around and we use this very concretized form of energy to buy or barter in exchange for the things that we want or we need. Now, I know I've said it in previous sermons years ago, so I'm going to say it again, and I know other people have said it. If you sat down, and maybe you are sitting down in these months as we prepare to turn in our taxes, and looking at your credit card or your bank statements, and you start paying attention to what you spent your money on, that's an indication of what your values are. When you review those, you find out what you care about: your rent, a mortgage, your car payment, insurance, food, something to keep you warm in the winter. Those things that sustain our lives and meet our personal needs, and paying for the things that are important to us. And you can also see then if you make charitable donations, or you invest in the future, you go to movies, or you spend the dollars in the store. Some of you Unitarians probably have a number of indigo payments because we seem to be very fond of books. I know that comes up on mine every once in a while. So I want you to take just a second to think about your own money experience. When you think about how you spend your money or don't, what of your values are on display? When you think about how you use your money resources, what does it tell you about what you're willing to give your life energy for? So back to, there's no reason to demonize this little stuff, although it can seem like a demon sometimes when we're trying to make the proverbial ends meet. And I'm not going to tell you that spending is wrong either. I happen to like a little bit of retail therapy now and then. It's just that now in my life, I tend to do more of it at thrift stores than big box stores. In our economic structure, in capitalism, the movement of the energy of money is, as you know, very important, not only for the full functioning of our economy, but for each of us personally as well. Stuck money is stuck energy. I am not encouraging you to be profligate with your money, but I know that we have to move things around now and then to make this economy work. There is an expectation that you will spend that money that you have. And if we live with fear and worry and with a sense of scarcity, then those things really can bind us up in our money energy. And we might be living a life that is smaller than is truly possible for us. If those kinds of fears keep you from doing things that would be good for you or pleasant for you or meaningful for you, kind of putting some limits on yourself. Our use of money becomes a spiritual practice if its use is connected to some sense of larger purpose, to significance or connection, if it in some way represents our values and what is vitally important to us. I believe that one of the greatest gifts we can give the world is to live a balanced life in alignment with our values. And when we consciously choose to use our money to serve that larger vision, well, it's important, and it's more important than having more and flashier stuff. In this sense, whatever action or endeavor you undertake in life can express an aspect of your spirituality, if you can engage in it in a way that links to your own sense of purpose and significance and connection with all of existence. Gandhi is quoted as having said, "Live simply so that others may simply live." So I think that the realities of money and how it works in our life can lead us to very profoundly religious questions around ethics and human worth and security. The capitalist world gives us the message that we must look out for our own interests, that life is a race that is won by the most competitive, and that success is defined by how much we accumulate and flaunt to the world. And I'm sure you've heard that, or seen it on a bumper sticker, the one that says, "The one who dies with the most toys wins." The capitalist worldview holds that there are limited resources, a very finite amount of wealth and goods and love, and that each of us is on our own to try to grab as much of it as we can. And we are challenged, I think, especially in our faith tradition, we're challenged to consider this point of view because we live in the middle of it and then make choices about living either in alignment with that or fashioning an alternative approach that works for us in this very challenging environment. We see the results of being disconnected from our financial reality when we find ourselves confronted with crushing debt, the need to have multiple jobs to cover expenses, of having to make difficult decisions about what we purchase. And the economic reality we live with at present is making it harder and harder for just regular folks who have a history and a life up to this point of being able to get the things that they want, to be able to not have to stand at the meat counter and decide between having the cheap cut of steak or hamburger or maybe not. We know wealth is not evenly distributed. You only have to look around the community to see the disparity of that. It's changed a lot over the last few years. I wanted some statistics on that, so I went to an Oxfam site, which explained to me that the richest 1% of the world's population holds 95% of the wealth. You think you got a chance? I'm not so sure. The bottom 50% of the world's population holds only 2% of the total world's wealth. Their comment on this discrepancy is that the ultra-wealthy and their monopolistic corporations are shaping global decision-making to serve their interests at the expense of people everywhere. What we don't often do, though, is blame the system. I mean, that looks like a systemic issue to me. That doesn't look like a personal issue. We don't often blame the system. We often blame the individual. If we see someone struggling financially or who is inequitably impacted by fiscal systems and policies, instead of considering how those inequities and policies may be putting that person exactly in that place, because it needs them there, so to speak, we turn around and go, well, it must be individually your fault. You're either lazy, or you don't use your money wisely, or you spend too much on bad habits, you don't work hard enough, ignoring that there might have been other issues at play. Or we turn around and we then praise the individual who has learned how to use the system and say, well, that person got rich because they knew how to use the system and they advanced because they knew the right people. They're just smarter than everybody else. I think objectively, if you watch the news, you would say, I don't think so. Then, unfortunately, because we are human beings, we turn around with that individual focus and then go, and if I'm not doing well, there must be something wrong with me. Then we think that there's something that we have not done right. We don't spend time and we don't turn around to people who have judgments on us and say, well, you understand that it is the economic system that is in place and that it is built to overprivilege some and impoverish others, and that the whole system is manipulated to place people in jeopardy and financial distress. Because our brain goes to, well, it must be your fault. When I started doing some looking into capitalism, I had always sort of carried the thought, perhaps I wasn't paying attention in economics class, and that wouldn't be a surprise because it's the only college class I got a D in. May explain to some of you who've worked on the finance committee why it was never my particular strength. But the beginnings of the rise of capitalism go back to the Middle Ages. And as you will recall, the only church at that time, the Catholic Church, and the particular group of Catholics, the Cistercians, who worked out in rural areas, started developing the basic pieces that would contribute to the rise of capitalism over the next several hundred years. And it wasn't hurt by the Industrial Revolution, certainly, but it started a lot sooner than, a lot earlier than I thought. And despite what we might want to do to separate church and state, we know that religious influence has shaped politics and social organization and laws and frameworks of the systems that we live within. It's done it for a long time. And I want to add just one other religious innovation in the Christian tradition from the 1800s, which I think has subtly perhaps snuck into our thinking patterns. And that is something called the prosperity gospel. Some of you are giggling, familiar with that? It's not, I know for most of it, it's not consciously part of our individual belief system, but I know it has had a huge impact on how we see the role of money in our lives. If you listen to modern Christian ministers like Oral Roberts, Joel Osteen, Paula White, who happens to be a spiritual advisor to President Trump, their message is that God wants you to be happy and whole, but also rich and successful, preferably with a house with a 3-car garage and a living room sectional from Ralph Lauren. That's written by Brianne Swan. For many, in my opinion, this has made capitalism the religious focus of many people's lives who call themselves Christian. And the implication of this message is that if you are not enjoying the benefits of the good life, again, you personally are at fault because you don't have enough faith or you haven't donated enough to their ministries. You're not living sincerely and faithfully into their impersonation. Well, there's a slip. Interpretation of the gospel. Their gospel is an intricate and interesting melding of the relationship between religion and money and the very real psychology of us as human beings. And you can say, I don't believe that. But I will contend that all of us have heard so much about the ideals of prosperity gospel that it's sort of subtly become a part of our way of thinking. You don't have to believe in it. It lives in your subconscious. When things get a little tough financially, I think we do quietly in the wee hours of the morning go, have I done something to piss off God? Even if we don't believe in God. We chastise ourselves into believing we must not be good people for some reason. We just don't do the right thing. We're not good enough if we have setbacks and challenges. And I know most of us, I'm sure probably all of us, but you know, sometimes you have to soften that a little bit because there could be somebody that says, I never think about this. So I know all of us at one time or another have told ourselves, I just need more money. If I only had more money, I'd be calmer, I'd be less stressed, I'd be more comfortable, I know I'd be happier. And this Western embrace of capitalism puts money in the interesting position of being powerful and important in our lives, sometimes above all else. And I'm sure if you're an economist, you'd be happy to tell me where the holes are in my argument, but I think the generalizations hold. There's a culturally held understanding that tells us that the more money we have, the happier we will be. We'll have more power. We'll be more important. We can have more stuff. To keep the economy humming, we need more stuff. If you have more stuff and more money, it must mean that you're a better person, you are more favored and more intelligent and more wonderful or good. And then the more we have, the better off we will be in life. And we'll be highly favored by God if he, when he, and it's always a he, has found us worthy. But the data doesn't back this up. It doesn't back it up. Many people have done research into the happiness level of people who have money, and many are very miserable. And they've asked people who don't have a lot of money, and they've said, I'm happy. I got my family, I got my community, I'm doing okay, I'm good. So we know that capitalism and religion have held hands for many hundreds of years. And that religious influence and our personal beliefs have been mobilized to implement economic, health, education, civil rights, and immigration policies, just to name a few, that reflect, in this case, a Christian message that is completely divorced from the teachings of Jesus and the Bible, which may or may not be relevant to your set of beliefs, but if somebody's calling them a Christian, themselves a Christian, and then imposing these kind of values, that to me is a problem. And certainly, that does not represent the teachings of all people. There are other economic systems that play in other cultures. They are not as focused on the importance of the mighty dollar and the bottom line and return to shareholders and profits. These cultures may use more trading or bartering or exchange. They may have more focus on working together as a community to assure that everyone has what they need to survive. And I get it. I mean, having money, to a certain extent, is a good thing. I mean, I kind of like having a little money. And if you have more money, you have more choices. It makes a difference. But only to a certain point, is what the researchers tell us. Ultimately, I think we're going to need to shift our focus and confront those subconscious truths that we've absorbed about how money works, how we work with our relationship with money. And we're going to have to learn to put our trust in something beyond money, to learn more about how our security lies in community in this amazing interconnected web. And I know that can seem countercultural. Yeah, it should. Do I not like capitalism? Well, how would I know? It's all I've ever lived with. I hear about other people's cultures, how they grew up, how they see money. I think, wow, wouldn't that be amazing to try? But that isn't the system I live in. But I want to encourage you to start living with your money consciously. If you're spending it, know what you're choosing to spend it on. I don't really care if it's lawn care or lattes, cherry pie or charity. Just be awake when you take that cash or that card out of your purse or wallet and you hand it to somebody. Is that really what you want to do? And if you do spend a dime or more, in this economy you're going to have to spend more, spend it joyously, happily. And if you can't be joyous, at least with the satisfaction that you've made a conscious choice to allocate your resources and energy in a particular way. Because you know what you're doing, you have a plan or the semblance of a plan, and you're using your treasure to support your values. Amen.
Thank you, Victoria, and it's so lovely to have you back with us. Please rise as you are able. We'll be singing hymn number 348, Guide My Feet. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Please stay seated for the postlude, Fighting for What We Believe. And we have our soloists, Deb Shannon and Mac Da Silva. And thank you, choir, for your wonderful singing today. Fighting for what we believe.
Splitting hair, splitting up, splitting off.
Less and more, rich and poor, what to address, what to ignore. What are we really fighting for?
Persuade, coerce,
convene, disperse,
accept or curse.
Deny, confess,
condemn or bless.
Who lives, who dies?
My truth, your lies.
Bring in, shout out, what's that all about?
Who gives out retribution and grace?
What to keep, what to spend, what to give and what to lend.
Some have not, some have a lot. Can we learn to share the things we've got?
I see us fighting over what we believe, how to love and how to pray.
We begin with hope and resolve and dreams and end up fighting over what we believe.
I see us fighting over what we believe, leaving spirits poor and lonely. I want to use my fighting spirit in a different way, instead of fighting over what we believe. I want to wrestle with the angels on the light of the dawn, and struggle with my need for God. I want to take on my tendencies to turn my head and struggle with why it feels so hard to gently lay our differences aside. We all believe in justice.
Let's talk about what that looks like.
And we believe in compassion.
Let's look at what that really means.
We believe in the holy work of listening to every
Bring in, shout out, what's that all about?
Gives out retribution and grace. What to keep, what to spend, what to give, and what to lend. Who's mine?